Okay, today we're going to be talking about this rare Astro Boy with wired remote. Let me grab my piece of paper here. This is, I believe, made by Bandai in the 1960s. And if you want to see a mint in box version of this on YouTube, Ozzies Robots did a video on that. I'll put a link down below so you can see what a mint one looks like. Now, the only confusing thing about the mint one that he shows on there, at near the end, he's commenting that he believes the light in the head is flashing. And from what I can see in the design of the mechanism, at least of this one, there is no flashing light. So if his light is flashing, then he's actually got a bad wire connection to the bulb. But as we know from past experience of looking inside all these toys, they didn't always make them all the same. Things change. So does he really have a flashing light in the head one versus this one, which never had a flashing light in the head? Who knows? I had to do quite a bit of things on this before I put it back together. I thought I'd shoot a video and show it to you. For one, this is what's left of the light that was up in the head. The bulb part would have been here. It was all smashed and missing. And it came down and soldered directly across the two motor contacts, which means anytime the motor is on, the light was on. No flashing. So that had to be replaced, and I'll show you a close-up of that later. It has a unique function, besides walking, because the remote has two buttons. You push one button and of course it walks. You push the other button, it stops walking, and it does a salute where its right arm goes up. I don't want to say like in a Heil Hitler type way, but it does a salute. And that mechanism is rather unique, not only in how it shifts the gears in the gearbox inside the robot, but also on the arm mechanism itself. It has a gear which is driven to do the salute, and this is on a spring-loaded thing, so if a kid grabs the arm and moves it, it doesn't break anything. But even that gear part is on a small spring-loaded mechanism. Very, very interesting. So the main reasons it was sent to me is the toy didn't have the wire or the remote. So the person I'm repairing this for came up with an old metal remote, which of course the original toy had a plastic remote, much like a Mr. Mercury type remote, only had two buttons instead of four. But this remote will work just fine. And what else? The major damage done by children through the years came down into, this would be the robot's left foot. I guess from grabbing the toy and slamming it, and then by hand trying to force the legs back and forth. It did a lot of damage. The leg linkage into the rear part of this bottom foot was all bent and disconnected from the foot, as was the ratchet for the rear wheel. It has ratchets both on the rear and the front wheels, which is the best way to do it. So in order to get that apart, I had to file down the crimps on these axles that hold the legs into the toy, so I could pull the axles out so I could pull the leg off. Once you get the leg off, then there's a little bent piece of metal there. You have to straighten out and pull that pin out. Then you can get the leg off of the foot, and of course if you want to get the foot off the base, then you have these tabs here. So you have to strip all that down just so you could get the linkage back in place and straighten up all the bent metal and get all that back in there working. And to hold the axles back in place, since I had to grind them off, I put in small washers and then solder on the ends of the axles to hold the washers in place. Now, I did put the back on only because this wire, which came with the remote, is getting very stiff. It isn't cracking yet, but it doesn't really want to bend a lot. And if I figured if I just left it hanging, I would keep cracking and breaking it off the small motor connection. So I went ahead and put the back on just to help secure this wire for this video. But I'm going to be showing you what's going on anyway. This gear up here is the one that drives the arm for the salute. And yeah, maybe if I just run this a little bit, you'll be able to see a little bit more of what I'm trying to talk about here. I'm going to turn on the salute gear and watch for a shaft right below it to move. Okay. So the salute gear, as you can see, is turning. You got the light on top working as well. Look inside, maybe you can see a little what's going on there. Now if I push the other button, the salute gear should turn off and the walking mechanism will engage. there's a shaft right down in there. See, when you're walking, that's in that forward position. Now if I go to salute, see how that moved to the rear? That shaft being moved back and forth is what switches the gears between energizing the salute and energizing the walking. And of course, it's moved back and forth by a little lever in there. Get enough light in there where you can see what's going on. And the lever is moved by friction of the rotating, instead of being on the pinion gear like many toys, which is down there. It's actually doing friction off of this large gear you see here on the inside up in here. And it moves a little arm forward and backward, which shifts that gear. And that's how it works. So in this particular case, what else? I talked about the leg linkage and the ratchet that was bent down on the foot thing. This leg linkage up here inside was totally mangled. And since I could tell the body hadn't been taken off this toy before, the only way that could get mangled is if some kid grabs this leg and forcibly moves it back and forth. Something's got to give. And it was all this. So I had to straighten that out as best I could. And that's as good as I could straighten out all the damage there. Seems to work fine. I mean, it seems to walk adequately. As good as anyone I've seen walk anyway. So, oh, and the motor, of course, once I got the wires hooked up and everything, the motor wouldn't run. Fortunately, this particular motor, and I won't be able to show you that with the back on, does have a hole in the bottom so you can get right into the brushes without taking the motor out of the frame or disassembling it. So you can get there and clean the commutator, spray it with contact cleaner, and lube it up with a little bit of oil so that it doesn't wear out right away. Got that running quite well. Of course, attached the new battery thing. So now, and I don't know how well this is going to go, because typically I wouldn't try to do this sort of thing. I'd be holding the toy in my lap. I'm going to try to assemble this on camera, and I just don't know how well I can hold things. Now, I wonder if I lean this back, if we'd be able to run the salute without the arm falling off. Let's try it and get it where you can actually see some of what's going on. There we go. You see, you keep running it and the arm will stay in the salute position. But if I move it to the walk position, the arm will immediately drop down. The unique thing about this design is not only does this arm salute, but also it can swing back and forth when you're in walking. So they were able to incorporate the salute and the arm movement for walking. And of course the other arm just has the connection for moving during walking, like so. And the head is going to go on like that. And now the tricky part's going to be trying to get this body on and all these little tabs to line up without the head and the arms falling off. And this is kind of where I didn't know if I'd actually be able to do this on camera, because I can't look at the camera to see when I'm in frame and do what I need to do. I think I've got the shoulder ones in place. I think I've got that side in place. Okay, let's move the arm up out of the way. Okay, I don't have this lower one in place. So, can I get it in place without losing everything else? Okay, I'm just going to kind of pinch this together. Let's see if everything still kind of works. Well, you can see the headlights up nicely. And does the salute work? Okay, the salute does go up, and it drops back down. So what we need to do now, and let's see if I've got a little punch, is these tabs. And this one isn't quite in the right place yet. Come on, don't everybody fall apart on me here. You've got these little tabs in these holes, and you go in like that and you bend them around. This isn't the kind of toy that you get a lot of chances to do this with, because the tabs will break, and if they break, you're going to have to replace them if you want to hold the toy together. And that becomes a whole nother repair, because every time you then straighten out the ones that you'd bent before the one that broke, you're starting all over again, and yada yada yada. So I don't bend them any more than I need to, just in case I have to take it apart. Now there's actually a tab in the crotch as well, and I have it sitting up here somewhere. Here it is. The tricky part's going to be trying to get down into that tab and get it nested. I think maybe needle nose might be my friend here. We'll see. I need to get the two tabs as close together as possible. Then I'm going to try to grab this little piece. You see this? That's got to slide over those tabs, which will then get bent. And of course, this is typically where I would drop it on the floor, and then would start the big hunting for the fallen tab. So far, I haven't dropped it. So far, we're doing okay. Got my flat blade screwdriver trying to spread the two tabs. And again, I'm not going to bend those completely down flush, just in case someday somebody's got to take it apart again. They might have a fighting chance. Okay, I believe. Okay, good walking, good light. Let's try the salute. And it goes way back. Didn't expect the salute to go that far back. Kind of thought there was a stop to that. I do not want to take the body apart again to figure out why the salute suddenly is going back further than it was earlier. But I may have to. At any rate, we'll end the video here. And can I get it full frame? Yeah. I aim the camera up a little bit. So there we have full frame. Again, I'll put a link to the mint and box one that you can see. You can watch Ozzies. Look at it and try to decide if you think his light is flashing or whether it's just a loose wiring connection to the bulb. Because to me it looks like when it's doing the salute, the light's on all the time, and when it's not, it's just kind of intermittently fading in and out, kind of like a broken wire touching or something. But you be the judge.